Today we're taking a look at the 2021 Hoyt Ventum 33. Welcome back to Mike's Archery's YouTube, and we are taking a look at Hoyt's new Ventum 33. And the specs on this bow, as we take a look at it, speeds are coming in at 334. Now you'll see later as we shot this bow over the chronograph, I don't have a good explanation because we shot it on our normal setup, but it was actually tracking speeds faster than the Ventum 30 as well as the new RX5. I don't have a good explanation for that, but it consistently was faster when it should be consistently slower. I don't know, but that's where we're at with it. The axle to axle on this bow is 33 1/8. So it's a little longer than 33, but it gives it a nice, long, stable platform, very forgiving. If you're the guy that likes a little longer axle to axle bow, this is probably where you want to look. And I myself am that guy who likes a little longer axle to axle. I don't like those little short 30-inch bows. They shoot great, but for me personally, I like being here on a little longer platform. My height and my draw length just lend itself better to that. So if you're that guy, then Hoyt has got a platform for you and always has. In fact, they make some of the longer bows on the market for that niche of that guy who wants something a little longer. Now the factory weights on this bow, they're putting it out at 4.7 pounds. We threw it on the scales out of the box and we got 5.2. Now we did strip down the limb dampeners, took off the new little stabilizer and the extra dampeners on the riser, and we got it down to 5.0. So it does come in above spec weight by a little bit. And when you add all these extra new features that they've added to it, obviously stabilizer and things are going to add quite a bit, and it did. The redesigned bow, this has been a complete new platform from Hoyt that they have done for this year, and they built it off a brand new cam system. So if you were familiar with the old cam system that Hoyt had, you would have a base cam 2 or base cam 3 option to get your draw length options, and then a module inside of that to adjust them. And what always happened is you walk into a shop and you need a base cam 3 and all they have on the shelf is a base cam 2 or vice versa. Well, Hoyt solved that problem with this new cam by making a single cam but changing out the modules. So now you have a module number 2 and a module number 3. And if you're needing a little more longer draw length, then the Ventum 33 has got that for you. The module number 2 is going to go from 26 to 29 inches, and then the module number 3 is going to pick up from there and go 29.5 out to 31. So if you got that little extra that you need, that 30.5, 31 inch draw, then you're going to need to step up to the Ventum to be able to get that extra inch on there. But it is all built into the same cam. So that is a good thing from a shooter standpoint, from a shop standpoint, and from a resale standpoint. It is a good thing that Hoyt has integrated all those things into this single cam, making it a much simpler system to adjust and work with. With the adjustments on those modules also came Torx heads with a single adjustment for the cable stop that's going to allow you to change from 80 to 85% let off. So it's just a simple movement of the module. It's all built in there similar to the PSE system, and then you're going to be able to adjust that let off as well just by moving that little draw stop on the end of the module. Again, just making a very sleek and easy platform to work with. Not a lot of extra moving parts that you have to deal with as far as extra cable stops that used to be there and string stops that you might have forgotten to move or whatever. So the brace height on this bow is 6 3/8 inches, and that is a really nice sweet spot to be. It's going to be very stable and very accurate as well as very forgiving in your hand, having that longer axle to axle as well as that higher brace height at 6 3/8. Now the bow is available in 40 to 80 pounds, and you're going to be able to pick this bow up in every 10-pound increment, as low as 40 pounds all the way up to 80, and that seems to be becoming more popular with a lot of guys wanting to get higher weights. And with this new cam system, it is going to give you a smoother draw cycle as well, and probably allow you to shoot a little heavier weight than you would have normally shot on a Hoyt. And the feel of this new cam is great. We were actually quite impressed. We didn't expect it to feel and shoot as good as it did. We kind of expected it would be the same old that we've seen from the last few years, but it is not. This is a better feeling draw cycle in this cam. It's a better feeling full draw. It sits very solid on that back wall, and also shot vibration as well as that kick in your hand. It is not there anymore. This is a very dead bow to shoot, and you'll see that as we step outside here in a little bit. Now, some of the other features that they built into this bow with this new platform is a lot of integrated accessories. Now, Hoyt had the integrated rest there for the last year or so, and that continues. You still have that option with the dovetail in the back of the riser to mount that integrated QAD rest on there and give you a perfect alignment and a rest that is not going to be able to move or slide on you or rotate with a rest bolt. It just makes a great rest there with that integrated system. From there, they have brought back their integrated sight. Now, Hoyt had integrated sights and rests in the past, probably 15, 20 years ago. This one's a little different. They did it on a Picatinny rail system, and on the front of the bow, you're going to have an integrated sight option. You're going to mount a Picatinny rail to the front of your bow. So rather than your sight holes on the side, which are still there, they have placed 2 holes up front. You're going to mount that Picatinny rail on the front and then be able to pick from Hoyt's integrated sight options that are going to clamp onto that Picatinny rail up front. Now, what that does is allows you to bring all your accessories in tighter against the bow. It brings your weight more centered to the bow. When you place your sight and your rest in line, it's going to balance the bow better, not offsetting that weight to the outside of the bow. It brings everything in line with the bow and gives it a better balance and a better feel with that integrated system of both the rest and the sight. And just a really cool look on the front of it as well. From there, they added the inline short stop stabilizer, and it's 2¼ inches. And visually, it was one of the first things I'm sure you noticed, that this little tiny stabilizer sitting down here at the bottom of the riser, sticking out there in front of everything. And what that does is gives extra weight to the riser where it's needed down here at the bottom. It is integrated vertically in line in the center of the bow, and then has the extra dampening rubbers around it, and is sitting just above the limb pocket, and it just places that weight on the bow where you need it to be in that shot. It allows the bow to balance well in your hand, and then after the shot, it's certainly taking out the kick and the vibration that they've had in the past. So it's definitely feeling better and shooting better with this new design. Now, they did leave your standard stabilizer hole in the riser that they've always had. If you want to move that up here, you want to build in another stabilizer system above it to get your extra weight where you need it, that's still there. Now, the next thing they did is they built the SL sidebar attachment. Now, that's an integrated sidebar. Now, normally if you were to mount a sidebar, it would be up here higher coming off the original stabilizer hole. They've put a couple integrated holes in the riser that you can now move that sidebar down lower where you need that weight to be to counteract that weight, and it's going to bolt directly into the riser at a lower center of gravity, a lower point, and be a direct mount into the new riser design. From there, they went to a new roller cable design. Now, they've had a roller cable guard in the past. It was 2 rollers separated on that. They've went to 2 wheels that are stacked on top of each other. Still gives you good cable separation, still very smooth with a ball bearing system in there, and no chatter or anything during the draw. It just kind of moved it down and compacted it a little more with a larger wheel in the back and a smaller wheel up front. The bow does come in 11 colors, and Hoyt has always had a lot of color options as well as some special makeup options. Those are all still there. You've got a couple new colors, such as the buckskin is back. That's a little different shade than the old buckskin, but looks really good. And then they've got the wilderness color that is kind of an OD green. You've still got your Realtree camo, as well as QU and Gore. And then also their special makeup bows in the Keep Hammering models. There's a couple of those in black and camo, as well as your Bone Collector special editions in black and camo there. So if you want to customize this bow out as far as colors and options as that goes, they've still got a ton of options there to make this bow look the way you want it to look. Now, the price point on the Ventum 33 is coming in at $1,149. So just a little bit higher than the Ventum 30, which is to be expected on a little larger bow, but still right there with everybody else's flagship bow prices. Now, Hoyt kept the same grip this year. It feels pretty much the same as it has in the past. It's not that really slim metal grip that you see from some other folks. It does have some contoured feel to it. Sits in the hand well. Hoyt has always had a good feeling grip, and that is no different on the new 2021 models. Now, they don't come off. They are glued directly on there, so it's not something that you could take a bolt out of and replace it or get down to the bare metal grip if you wanted to. You would have to peel that off there, and there's no color options to change it out either. So we'll step outside, take a look at this bow and see how it performs and shoots over the chronograph and what it feels like and sounds like. So we've stepped outside with the Ventum 33 from Hoyt for 2021, and we are taking a look at this bow. We're going to shoot it over the chronograph, kind of get a feel for how this bow shoots, the feel of the cams and the speed that it puts up and how it performs. As usual, we are shooting a 400 grain arrow at 29-inch draw length and 70 pounds. And it is on 85% let off. So we're going to shoot this bow over the chronograph and just kind of see what kind of numbers this thing puts up. .308, and that is what we've been seeing. Now, I don't fully understand that. You would think the shorter bows should be faster. I don't know if we've got something just a little different tweaked out on this bow. We just took it out of the box and set the draw length. But it is the fastest of the 3 Hoyt bows we've shot. And being the longer axle to axle, that's something I like. I like a little longer axle to axle bow. A lot of guys like that 30, 32 range on things. This is a 33. And I tend to lean towards the heavier side of things. But this bow is putting up some really good speeds at 308. Now, the noise level on that, just shy of 100 decibels. It's at 98.8. So right there where most bows are falling at, real comparable. Now, as far as the shootability of this bow, the overall feel of the new Hoyts is very good. We're in fact quite impressed over what we've seen in the past several years from Hoyt. I think they've got, whatever they did with the new cams, I think they've got a winner on their hands. It's just a great feel. The smoothness of the draw curve when you come back on it, it's not jumping off at the back end, and that 33 inches makes it even a little smoother than the 30 and the RX5 if that's something you're looking for. And so the fact that it's smoother and that longer axle to axle but still getting faster speeds is really impressive. Now from there, the back wall on this bow just sits really solid, and that's something that we felt, it doesn't want to go. It doesn't want to jump out of your hand and pull you through like some of the Hoyts in the past few years. It just sits rock solid in your hand. And then the vibration after the shot, they have definitely worked on that, and it is deader than anything we've felt from them in several years. So just overall, a great feeling bow from Hoyt for this year, and something that you should certainly check out if you're in the market for a new bow. Take a look at the new Hoyt lineup and give us a call at Mike's Archery.